only in the NFL do we have such an event for the release of their schedule. Obviously, for other leagues, you have your key takeaways, but for the NFL, it just seems like a bigger deal. And so I hopped on the hype train and wrote down some of my key takeaways from the NFL schedule release. And I will go kind of in chronological order here. Opening game of the season is the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we see the defending Super Bowl champions get to take on the high-powered Cowboys offense with newly signed Dak Prescott. Should be a fun one. Lots of offense everywhere, I imagine, and good way to kick off the season with two teams that are probably the two most talked about over the last year. The Cowboys just because they're the Cowboys, and then the Bucs because they are the Super Bowl champions. The opening Monday Night Football is the Los Angeles Rams and the Chicago Bears. Will we get to see Justin Fields in action that night? Still unsure. But the Los Angeles Rams, we get to see Matthew Stafford for the first time. He was formerly the Lions quarterback, but now gets to once again go up against a division or used to be his division rival in Chicago. And so he will know them well. And we'll get to see what sort of magic Sean McVay can cook up with Stafford behind the behind the line. Thursday, September 30th is the first meeting of Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow. So the two number one overall picks of the last two drafts, the Jaguars and the Cincinnati Bengals will be going at it. Two smaller market franchises with big time quarterback talents. And I just can't wait to see them both in action because I think they're both studs. And Burrow, of course, his season cut short due to the knee injury, but he will be back and ready to roll. The biggest game and the one that everyone has circled and has been waiting for now for almost 2 years, October 3rd, Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick. And that is the big headline in if you back out, it's the Buccaneers versus the New England Patriots. But this is it right here. The battle for legacy. Brady has now captured his 7th Super Bowl while Belichick, a measly 6. But if Belichick can win this game against the Buccaneers, then he may steal back the legacy rankings in terms of being able to win against Tom Brady. It is so fascinating, and there will be so much talked about leading up to this game. I cannot wait, even though I am not a fan of the Patriots dynasty. Sunday, October 24th is a revenge game, which I am looking forward to. It is the Arizona Cardinals with DeAndre Hopkins and JJ Watt, who packed their bags and escaped from the dumpster fire that is the Houston Texans. And I imagine they are looking to lay a whooping on Houston when they return, and it'll be interesting to see how that game turns out. The final kind of takeaway I have from the schedule is not a specific day, but it does seem like the Green Bay Packers got a lion's share of primetime games and night games, obviously because they are a historic franchise and have a lot of quality players, but it will look very poorly on the NFL if Aaron Rodgers does not return to the team this year. And in the end, I think he will. It gets expensive to not play for an NFL team versus some of the other leagues where you can hold out and not get fined nearly as much. Just not as much power on the players in the NFL. And even though he is interested in playing Jeopardy, I think Rodgers wants to have a couple more attempts at capturing a Super Bowl. And I think the Packers are probably one of the best suited teams to help him do that, just in terms of how they've built their team. Not enough wide receiver talent, but the running backs and the defense are really, really solid. And so in the end, I think he'll realize that that's the team to be. But we could have a couple Jordan Love primetime games if Rodgers is not back on the team by then. And I don't think that NFL schedule makers were thinking about that, but it could be not very good for them if that comes to be.